Hey everyone, welcome back to the Musicians Talk Music Podcast. We're your hosts, Liam Fitzgerald.
And Hayden Aaron. And today we're talking about The Stranger by Billy Joel. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a very special guest, our first special guest, in fact. We have my roommate, Billy Joel fan, Cole Fortier.
It's a pleasure to be on this episode. Thank you so much, guys.
Welcome to the
So-
podcast, my friend.
It's
Yeah.
great to be here.
So, The Stranger by Billy Joel. Just to give a little background on The Stranger by Billy Joel, it was released in September of 1977. It is the fifth studio album by American singer and Long Island liver Billy Joel.
Long Island liver. Long Island resident.
The liver. This was definitely a turning point album for him. This is one of the first albums that really got recognized by the mainstream, and it became one of his biggest hits and might even be his most popular album. But
I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
phenomenal album. Just like looking at the leading single, you got Moving Out, and you got Just the Way You Are. Of course, the title track, The Stranger, Only the Good Die Young, She's Only a Woman. I mean, these are all songs that people know. Or most
Vienna,
people know.
scenes from an Italian restaurant.
Vienna, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. And
Like-
it's just an ongoing list.
Yeah, like I didn't really grow up in a very big Billy Joel household, but just before diving into this album, I actually haven't heard a lot of stuff on it. But I knew Moving Out, I knew Italian Restaurant, I knew Vienna, I knew Only the Good Die Young, I knew Just the Way You Are. Like
Man,
I
you knew
knew-
half the album. So
I think I literally knew every single song but two of them.
I mean, this album might as well be a greatest hits album. Like it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely up to that status. And it's just so interesting, this album, just in the span of Billy Joel's career. So the album before this, Turnstiles, is also a fantastic album, but that you can really hear like such a development in sound from Turnstiles to The Stranger. And it's
absolutely.
just such a mature sound he's going for. And it's just a fabulous album. It's so elegant. And I think what really makes this album so unique is just he takes from a lot of different styles, a lot of different genres, and you really see Billy Joel in his finest as the craftsman,
Absolutely.
so it's
Yeah.
just, I love it. I grew up with the songs, but the older I get and the more that I'm furthering along on my musical journey, like I can still find so much appreciation in like a lot of this album. So
Yeah. This album never made it to a number one, which is
Really?
very, very surprising. It made it to
Wait,
number two.
wait, really?
Yeah, it never made it to number one. It's
what was that number
unbelievable.
one?
What?
What was that number one instead?
Oh, I don't know. Just based on the charts here, it only made it to number two in the U.S.
Damn.
and then like number 24 in England. It's like,
Well, the
huh?
fans will have to tell us what the number one album was at the time. I
Well,
don't know.
the thing is that this was a part of a trilogy of his, which were his most popular albums. So, I mean,
It's
it
the
only
first of
got better from here. This is the first of them. So, but yeah, no, Cole, you're entirely right. This is such a mature sound for him too, and especially to hear where he's coming from. As a pretty big Billy Joel fan, even just listening to Piano Man, and just hearing that was 2 albums before we started writing this.
Yeah.
So,
It's
Crazy.
really amazing. Also, there was a giant shift in production for this album too, because this was kind of like the pieces of Billy Joel's band were really falling into place, and also production wise. So this was the first, I believe, I'm 99% sure, this was the first album of Billy Joel to be produced by the amazing producer Phil Ramone.
I think you're right about that.
Phil Ramone has gone on to produce so many famous artists throughout his life, but he famously produced, I think, every Billy Joel album from this to The Bridge. What's interesting actually is he originally wanted George Martin to be the producer of the Beatles, but George Martin declined. I think George Martin was hesitant about the band Billy was using, and after the album came out, George Martin wrote a letter to Billy Joel saying, "I was wrong. This is a fantastic record, and you should be proud of yourselves. And I was wrong about my judgments." So that's pretty amazing.
Awesome.
When the Beatles producer George Martin, and at that time he was producing America and he was producing a lot of people, that's just amazing. So, but Phil Ramone was the perfect fit. And, when we talk about the songs more, I can talk more about how Phil really kind of played such an integral role into arranging this album production wise, because he really had a lot of say on this album. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Sure.
And speaking of the songs, we might as well jump into the first one.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Moving Out.
Yeah. I like Moving Out. I like Moving Out a lot.
I have a history of Moving Out. Just this real quick about this album. This album is so nostalgic for me because I used to do like this little morning care thing in the morning, and the guy who took care of us, he would always play The Stranger. And this is one of the, I mean, I know all the songs from it, but it was primarily Moving Out that stuck out to me. So this song is incredibly nostalgic. This song is phenomenal and a great opener to the album, nonetheless.
It really is perfect.
Yeah. It's got an awesome chord progression. The walk down is great. I love how it's got like a really, really slow groove. It's funny though, the first time I ever heard Moving Out, probably not, but the first time I like really truly remember listening to Moving Out, like I said, I didn't grow up in a very big Billy Joel household. I was a big fan of Panic at the Disco, and they tended to cover this song at their concerts. I think Brendan Urie does a great job with it, but that was the first time I'd heard Moving Out, and I knew it was a Billy Joel song, but the way that they do it is they do it really, really fast. And then I listened to that one for a little bit, and then I'm like, I should probably check out the original. And I did, and the first thing I thought was, holy crap, this is really slow. Yeah. But the great thing about Moving Out is that it works both slowly and quickly, which I think is really, really cool.
See, personally, I think it's perfect the way it is. I don't think it could even be one single BPM faster or slower. I think it would ruin it for me. But it's just such a perfect. It's just, and Liberty is so locked in.
Drums, it's perfect.
Drums, and it's just. It's such a great song.
Yeah, there's something really captivating about this song. I mean, just kind of like Hayden was talking about the chord progression. It really is, it's just so perfect and it just flows so well, but it really is exciting, just like the constant movement in the song is just, it's just amazing,
Not to mention the little bit, I mean, if you ask me, it's not really so much about the story. Billy Joel wrote a lot of songs that were very story driven, or not a lot, but
he's a storyteller,
Yeah, he wrote quite a few, but this one it's not the story that really makes it true to me, but it's everything else, the melody, the articulation in his voice, and just the way the song is structured.
Part.
Yeah, dude, the Cadillac,
Classic Billy Joel.
Which actually, the car isn't even a Cadillac. It's a Corvette. It's the bassist's Corvette.
That's right.
It's actually not even. It's actually neither. It's actually, and the reason why Hayden knows that, as we were talking before. So
Genius Lyrics told me.
Well, Genius Lyrics, I believe it's either Genius Lyrics are wrong or my father is wrong, because my father personally knew the band members of Billy Joel's band at the time. Doug Stegmeyer, who was the bass player for Billy Joel's band for many years, was very close with my dad. And according to my dad, whether is it a Corvette or not, I'll have to ask my dad again. But from what I remember my dad saying, though, it was actually Doug Stegmeyer's motorcycle. That's the sound.
That would make sense. It sounds a lot more like a motorcycle than a car.
We're not auto mechanics here. We're musicians, so the auto mechanic is not our gig. But
however, we do know what things sound like.
For the most part.
For the most part, we struggle a little bit, but yeah, that's a little tidbit. And the other interesting story about the song is it was completely. The song kind of went through a couple incarnations. So at the time, actually, the song originally was. The melody was a lot different. The melody, he wrote a different melody for the song at first, and he pitched it to the band. And then Liberty DeVito, who is never short of honesty, this guy was always honest. He yells at Billy, and he's like, "That's Laughter in the Rain by Neil Sedaka. You can't. That's not. You're gonna rip that song off." And then Billy didn't even notice that, but Billy was like, "Oh my God, it literally ripped that song off." So. If it wasn't for that, we would have been hearing a completely different song. Because it also, I think
we would have been hearing Laughter in the Rain.
He would have. I think he also wrote the melody of Laughter in the Rain. He had it in a different key signature too. He had it in C major, and then the song Moving Out's in D minor. So like he kept the word. It was the same rhythm though, and the same lyric. So he wanted to keep the lyric, and the lyric was strong enough. So the lyric actually pretty much was first formulated, and then that eventually informed. All right, well, I'm going to do this progression, and it's just amazing how easily adaptable that lyric is, such a wordy lyric to go into, and such a specific phrasing. It's just
Yeah,
incredible.
absolutely.
Yeah, great song. Where would you guys rank this overall?
Overall, moving out is my number 2.
It's also
Really?
my number 2. It's my number 2 as well.
Phenomenal song. I want to say,
It's my number 5.
is it
Oh, come
really?
on.
Okay,
Wow.
that's the thing. I love Moving Out. I also really, really love the other 4 above it. I feel like I ran it with this album. I ran into a similar problem that we ran into when we were doing the ELO album a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That I really, really, really like every single song on this album. I think they're all great. It's just like, how do you rank songs that are all really, really good?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. That's the thing, is like every song on this album is like a 9 to a 10, just like the ELO record. One last thing is something really great about this album is I've listened to it 20 times, like in the last month or so, and hundreds of times before that. And the cool thing is I'm still picking out things.
Yeah.
And that's what's really nice about this song. It's like the arrangements are really rich, and it's just so good.
Like
But
the little guitars in the background just going, just like adding a little
Yeah.
rhythm. Like, it's just so tasteful. It's so
or
tasteful.
there's a little climb into the chorus that's like, it's like a piano climb. Da, 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 da,
Oh, I love that.
da, da. I just noticed that like today.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, Moving Out is my number 2 spot. Phenomenal song,
Great song.
phenomenal writing, phenomenal everything. The Stranger, the
Title track.
Yes, love this song. Oh my gosh.
The Stranger's great. Well, Cole, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, sure. So The Stranger is really unique, and I think The Stranger is totally, with its incredible introduction in Coda, as we all, that famous introduction in Coda, it really is like a sign of what was to come on the following album, on 52nd Street. I mean, that's the thing about Billy Joel, is he really draws from myriad influences musically in different styles. I mean, there's been times in his career where he's literally taken a Beethoven melody and turned it into a pop song, and then there's been times in his career where he's been inspired
Quite
by
literally,
yeah, on the song This Night. But like, and then there's like literally times in his career where he's taking from even like Spanish rhythms, and then there's also like jazz elements, and this is really kind of his, as such an ode to jazz in a way, in the intro at the very least, and like, man, what a stunning melody. Just what a melody that is. I mean, like, it's just so, the mood it invokes is just incredible. And the little story about that famous melody with the whistle part, this is one of the many times that Phil Ramone was a genius and decided to inspire something. So apparently when they were laying down the demo of it or whatever, Billy was whistling it, and then he was like, okay, well, we got to find an instrument for that whistling part. But Phil was like, no, we were just going to have you whistle. That's perfect. That's the sound. And he knew, and Phil Ramone knew that. And that's just amazing to me. But then for the middle of the song, it's like,
I love the middle of the song.
It's so unique for Billy, because it's a biting groove, but it's really funky. I mean, this is when this album holds up well, but like there's a lot of times where like I'll be like, this is such a late 70s thing, right? This groove is like so emblematic of the late 70s. And I mean that in a good way. Like, I love that,
absolutely.
And it just freaking grooves, man. I love it,
No, I agree. I love just like the bass, not just like the bass line, the tone of the bass.
Oh man, the bass is incredible.
The bass is, it's right in the pocket. It's great.
Yeah.
I love just the electric guitar work on this song. Again, the melody it's playing, the tone it's playing. It's very, it's
got a
it's a very good song.
The chorus has a great chromatic climb down effect, which
I love that.
As you know, is with working with me, is one of my favorite things to do. So I appreciate it, and it's a phenomenal song. The only thing is here's the thing, is like I said, everything on this album is so strong, but sometimes I don't connect with this song. I don't know what it is, but
that's sad.
But like, it's a great song, talking about your identity with someone else and how you can change around different people. I mean, it's just such a neat concept. And
also even talking about how sometimes like you might not even like recognize like your actions. you know.
Absolutely, but yeah, like especially like I don't know. There's a lot of moments in my life that I always connect back to Billy Joel, and there's a lot of things that like I realize are like self connections and like things that I realize, man, you got to fix that. I kind of had a incident with myself similar to The Stranger, and I realized I was acting different around different groups, and I was like, wow, that's weird. Be true to yourself, and this is just one of the many examples where Billy Joel has kind of revolutionized the way I think
Yeah,
about myself.
I
So
love the lyric too. I really do like the lyric as well. And just one more thing, going back to the music, you were talking about the chorus before. Like this is like a song of contrasts, which I think is so dynamic for the narrative it's telling from like this interlude, from this I'm sorry, from this intro. But then what I love about like is like I love the darkness that the verses have, but then that chorus is so bright when it modulates.
yeah.
And then I love like going back to the detail, the little triangle added. It's like all of a sudden it's almost like slightly more romantic and it's almost like just more reflective in a way. And then it just cuts back into the verse. I just love that transition. Like, I mean, it's just such a strong hook. The chords are awesome on the
Hmm.
chorus. Love those chords. It's just really good.
And then the little reprise at the end is always really nice. So
Oh, of course.
Yeah. I like it. I think that part specifically really ties it together really, really well.
absolutely.
It's good. It's like bookends.
Yes, exactly. Very, very much so. It's except not some albums do the whole album. The
Yeah.
song does it. Well, it does actually. Later on, it does.
We'll get to that though.
We'll get to
We'll
that.
get to that.
You guys would be happy to know that I rank this higher than Moving Out.
Wow.
Really?
Number
Oh, man.
4.
It's funny. I ranked this right below Moving Out. This is my number 3.
Really?
Oh man.
Top 3, man.
Liam, did you rank it the same as Moving Out? That's the only way
No.
to make this right.
Number 8.
Ooh, whoa, that's a hot take right there.
Number 8.
Well, I
I'm
got some hot
sorry.
takes coming. I have some hot takes coming later too, so it's okay.
I'm really
Me too.
sorry. It's
I
just-
was really talking to Cole earlier about my ranking, and I said that I said my number 3 choice, and he went, "Really? That's a hot take." So
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll get there.
we
Yeah,
got some
no,
hot
so-
takes coming down the pipeline.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like a clickbait. Like you won't believe what number 3 is.
Number 3 will shock you.
Number 3 will shock you.
So
Speaking of number
okay,
3,
Number 3 of the album.
just the way you are.
just
Oh,
the way you are.
what a
Hayden, give us
song.
some input on just the way you are.
All right. I like Just the Way You Are. I'm a sucker for a good love song. It's got a really, really great groove, which I love. I love the saxophone. I like that the saxophone is used sparingly though. I think it kind of makes it like a little bit of a treat, like, ooh, more
I agree.
saxophone.
Absolutely.
The keyboards in the background during the chorus is really, really cool. I like the song a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, you
wanna
go first.
or okay, sure.
go
I'll
first.
Just the way you are is a song that I always thought was like the absolute power ballad. Like this is one of the best love songs I've ever heard. And that's changed, but it's still a great love song. Um but yeah, no, the thing about this song in particular is the way that he makes the chords work, and just something about Billy Joel's music in general is just how much of it is just pocket, and it just kind of goes to show that pocket works so well with
Yeah.
so many things. Like Liberty DeVito is not really doing anything crazy.
It's so lyrical though. It's just,
Boom. And it's
yeah.
like that is so easy,
But like
but
when you got that groove, you got that groove.
exactly. And it's like that is just so perfect in so many ways. And his whole band was able to adapt to his music and play pocket, but still be incredibly impressive in their playing.
Yeah, I mean, and it works for Billy especially because that's the thing about Billy is being the total package is because the guy can rock. I mean, we just heard it on The Stranger. I mean, he can rock, and especially later on albums like Glass Houses, especially you really hear him rock.
Oh,
But like
Even later on this album,
yeah,
you
right.
really hear him rock on like.
But what I was
going to
say though is that he rocks,
Absolutely.
but like, and his band is as powerful as in that pocket, but at the same time, they have such an incredible sensitivity to his different styles where they can mold set like Liam was talking about. But yeah, my thoughts on Just the Way You Are is we all like the song here. I think that's the consensus. I definitely probably like it the most, I would assume, in my ranking if I'm talking about it. But like I definitely I don't know, I'm a sucker for the song. It's always meant a lot to me. It's just an incredible progression. It flows amazingly. Everything about this song flows. But there's something so beautiful about this song. There's just something profoundly, it's pure. Like I can understand why some people might not love it. Just maybe it's a little cheesy for people, but like there's just something so beautiful about it. And to me, like there's things about the song that like really resonate with me, like from a production standpoint, like just the little voices in the background. Like I don't know why it reminds me a little bit of, but like the way the voices, the backing vocals creep in, it reminds me a little bit of "I'm Not in Love" by 10cc. Kind of. I mean, obviously, yeah. "I'm Not in Love" is obviously like 1,000 voices. It's a totally different thing, but like just
it's the same vibe though.
It almost sounds like the voices are like a synth pad coming in. It's just, it's little nuances like that.
Yeah, you're right about that. See, the thing about Just the Way You Are is that it is just such. I mean, you're right. It is cheesy, but at the same time, I say this a lot about George Harrison's music too. Is that it is so honest and so true and pure, and it's like, it could very well be one of the most perfect love songs because it's like like just don't change yourself, just be you. Like that's just the way I want.
Well, what's interesting,
very flattering. So
right, and what's interesting is like he himself actually was doubting the song when he first wrote it because of the cheesiness factor per se. He wrote it for his wife, but like what happened was he was
it ended. That's what you're trying to say.
Oh no. That's another story. No. What happened was
it ended like a year after this song came out.
He was in the studio playing. Yeah, he was in the studio playing it, and he was kind of like saying, "I don't know if I want to put this on the album," but like Phil Ramone and the others were like, "This is so good, you have to." So he wound up bringing in Linda Ronstadt and Phoebe Snow were around, I guess, because that's just the music world at the time. Two giant, incredible singers come into the studio. He plays them Just the Way You Are, and they were like, no, you gotta put this on. This is so amazing. So once you get Linda Ronstadt saying you should put Just the Way You Are on the album, you should put Just the Way You Are on the album.
Yeah.
So thank God for them, right? I mean, but
yeah,
great song all around.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of Pearl Jam with their third album, Vitology. Eddie Vedder didn't want to put the song Better Man on the album. Better Man was probably the biggest hit from the album and one of Pearl Jam's most famous songs. But when Eddie wrote it, and it's probably one of the best songs he's ever written, it's about like an abusive relationship. He wrote it and he showed it to the band, and they had to like kind of learn all the parts, and he didn't want to put it on the album. He wanted to just sell it off to someone else, and everybody was saying, no, this needs to go on there. So it's crazy that sometimes the writers will doubt a song and it ends up being one of their best.
Happens all the time.
Ratings for Just the Way You Are, boys.
Ratings for Just the Way You Are, number 6.
Number 5.
Oh, my bad. Number 4. I said number 3 by accident.
Number 4. Okay, we were all pretty ballpark.
Yeah,
though. We were all pretty close.
And what's great about having more than just the two of us, Liam, is that we finally have like different ratings now.
Exactly. Right. Which is really, really, really cool. But yeah, no, last thing I want to say about Just the Way You Are is it's a Fender Rhodes with a Wurlitzer effect on it. And it's one of the greatest sounds.
Combining two of the most iconic keyboards of the 70s into one sound. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. I just want to say right off the bat, right off the bat, this could be the best Billy Joel song of all time.
Can't go wrong with it. I can't
give an opinion on that because I don't know if I have Billy Joel's music.
That's fair. I truly think that there is not a better Billy Joel song than Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. I mean, just take any of it. Just take the form. It is so incredible and epic, and
it's so creative.
It's incredibly creative, and it's so thoughtful. And the way that each phrase is thought out and whatnot, it's just like I don't know. It literally, if you ask me, like this song puts like Piano Man to shame, or like any of his other hits. This is the best song by Billy Joel.
You know why? Because it's another happy accident too, right? Just like a lot of the things on this album where there was a great spontaneous energy in creating things. You know, this song was not written as one full song. It was written as three separate songs.
Yeah.
And it was Phil Ramon's idea to say, let's put them all together. And like, if these songs were separated, I don't think it would have had as strong of an effect, to be honest. Even though all the sections are great, I'm not taking down from the sections, but like, it's the unity, it's the cohesion of all these different vignettes, but all serving like a very
different
honest
scenes.
place.
Right.
There you go. But also, like, it's from an honest place of Billy's life. You know, it's super Long Island. This song is incredibly, But like, it's a great story, and like, it just musically, it's so dynamic. You know, I mean, it's just great.
Man, Phil Ramon's back must from carrying this entire album.
Yeah, right. No, but like, here's the thing about scenes. I mean, just for those who don't know or understand the story, I mean, the way I see it is, I mean, just, talking about their restaurant, right? And then it seems like there's like two friends, right? And they talk about past in high school, like two high school friends. They talk about high school, and they talk about, their high school heroes. They're the popular kids in high school, right? Brenda and Eddie. And the song is basically about how people kind of peak too high, essentially. Like, that's their story, is that they peaked in high school and then declined so fast. And that was that's basically the story. But I mean, just I don't know, the oh my gosh, I don't even know. It's such a great song. And I think it's either a major 3 or an inversion. I don't know, because my piano playing is not wonderful. But basically, I don't know. I mean, just like the solo section when the saxophone comes in and Billy's doing the glissandos on the piano, and it's just so good.
Yeah, I really. Oh, sorry, Hayden. You go first, Hayden.
Okay, I was gonna say I really like it. Not even from like a writing standpoint, because of course the writing on this is great, but I think the best part about this song is the instrumentation. You got piano, bass, guitar, drums, but then accordion, sax, tuba.
Yeah.
Like you can't go wrong. I also just love, just with the singing, that like his voice kind of slightly changes a little bit when he switches characters. Genius.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, like, going back to the instrumentation thing. Yeah, this song is so thoughtfully arranged. I mean, like, it is just like, I mean, it's such a beautiful beginning, but like, to me, going back to Liam saying that this might be the best Billy Joel song in his entire catalog, to me, honestly, what might be my favorite musical moment in a Billy Joel song is the saxophone solo in the first part. And when the strings come in, like, that is like, oh my gosh, that is so. I literally have chills every single time I listen to that part. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, and just like the way it just grows, it's so beautiful. And then when the strings come back, and then like, how unexpected. Like, let me ask you, the first time you listened to this all the way through, after going through the Ballad of Brenda and Eddie part, did you expect those strings to come in like that?
Listen, man, I mean, just everything about this song, front to back, I was blown away first time I listened to it. I mean, this was a life-changing song. Like, this changed so much for me. I mean, yeah, but I mean, the strings, when the strings come in, yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I didn't expect there to be a reprise at the end, let alone the strings. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just also, especially Doug Stagmeyer, he really shines on this song more than anyone else.
Couldn't agree more.
And
totally agree. Yeah.
Just his bass playing, the way he plays, and the way he articulates everything is just so good. But yeah, Scenes it is the best Billy Joel song.
It's top tier.
Or it gets my number 1 spot on this
album. It gets my number one spot.
We all got number 1. Yeah.
Number 1. Nice. Very nice.
Look at that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I can't, like, what else would have been number 1? Literally nothing else could have been number 1. It's
Vienna.
Okay. I mean, we talk about Vienna. Vienna's a great song.
Vienna's a very, very good side 2 opener. Scenes is a very, very great side one closer.
Scenes could be a side one opener. It could be a side whatever closer. It's a great
Yeah.
concert opener and closer. Let's talk about Vienna because I know Cole is very passionate about Vienna.
I
Oh,
do have
Cole
hot
loves
takes on it.
Vienna.
Cole's
Should I start with this
Vienna,
one, I guess?
Vienna is his
By
favorite
all
song
means.
on this
It's-
album.
He
I
lied when he
hate this
said
song.
Scenes is number one. Vienna's number one.
No. So they're making fun of me for context for the viewers. You can't just you gotta let the viewers on this. I mean, honestly, I hate this song. I don't know what it is. It just bothers me.
I don't understand.
I have very sharp opinions about certain songs. Sometimes this only happens occasionally. Sometimes a song will come on, and I just don't. And here's the thing: I'm a very analytical person. I'm a theoretical person, and I love giving things a chance. I listened to it today, and I listened to it, and I actually enjoyed the song. Like I enjoy it for what it's worth. But in an album filled with masterpieces, this is just not it. And this is why, to me, there's nothing horrible about it. There's nothing even egregious about Vienna. It's actually a very pleasant song. In fact, it's a great melody. The instrumentation's great on it, but I think to me, I personally just don't connect with just I don't know. It's like the chord progression I'm not as into. I can't even describe it. I don't know if slinky is the right word. Just the whole verse progression, just the way it kind of meanders around. It's not that it's awful. It's just
I don't think it meanders at all. I think,
also I get why there's
good.
not a middle section on the song, but it's almost to me the music is not strong enough to repeat over and over again.
There is a middle section. There's a little bridge solo section with an accordion.
Oh, there is, right? It's so brief. That's the thing. I don't even.
But the thing is that it doesn't even need anything else. That's the great thing about Vienna. I don't know. I mean, it's just a great pop song.
I guess I gotta be honest. I guess part of me not liking this is a reaction against the cult following the song now has. I mean, this song wasn't.
I suppose. I mean,
could see
people
that.
if Billy Joel has mentioned in interviews, he asked the audience, would you rather me play Just the Way You Are or Vienna? Everyone says Vienna.
Yeah.
So, I know the song has a big cult following and whatnot, but to me that doesn't really matter as much. I mean, it's just it's not because it has a cult following that it could be a not as good song. It's just that the song is a good song, and
yeah,
I would choose it any day over Just the Way You Are. I would choose it any day.
I 100% disagree. I 1000% disagree with that.
No,
I would
okay.
choose it over most songs off this album.
Here's what I'm actually going to say something in support of why. From an objective standpoint, I could see why someone would choose Vienna over Just the Way You Are. This album holds up well for me, but I will say this. The production, and by the way, if you hear laughter over the mics,
I've been laughing at the tuba playing in the background.
Okay, for the listeners, I'm in a practice room at the Crane School of Music right now. And for those listening, there's a tuba player right next to me. And so if you hear tuba playing,
players do great though.
The tuba player is not playing anything off Billy Joel. Yeah, we love the tuba player, but they're not playing anything off of The Stranger. If you were wondering, they're not part of it. But
again, we're gonna get charged for copyright, guys.
No, please.
So all right. Anyway, let me say something now. Okay, so the thing about Vienna,
don't come for me.
Enough tuba talk. The thing about Vienna,
tuba talk.
The thing about Vienna in relationship to Just the Way You Are is aesthetically, and the production of Vienna, I think, is overall slightly more modern in a way, if that makes sense. I think Just the Way You Are it is kind of trapped in that late 70s flavor, which I love.
It is.
I guess I'm more of a traditionalist.
It sounds like a 70s song, but Vienna doesn't.
The thing about Vienna is that it could have been the thing that's so great about Vienna, and maybe you could even
it's timeless.
We call it ahead of its time, even at this point. It sounds like it could have been written in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. I think it's just a personal gripe I have with it, because I feel like I can't personally connect with it as much, and in relationship to how much of a cult following it has. But I'm not the only one who doesn't like the song. My Billy Joel friend, who's my best friend, he also hates the song, which is kind of funny that we're the two against the rest of the world. But you know what? Billy has said in interviews that this is actually one of his favorite songs of all time. This and Scenes are one of his favorite songs.
It's a great
song. It should. Yeah.
The thing about The thing about
I don't
Vienna
know.
is that it's just, I mean, also just like talk about like his vocal lines and whatnot, right?
It
Oh
is
yeah.
great. It is. They're all good. They are. Yeah, he sounds
It
amazing.
grows. It grows so well, and then it comes back. You know,
It's like it's
that's my favorite part
overwhelming.
about it.
And then just like the great thing is like when will you and then Vienna waits for you. It's like, oh man, it's so heart swelling and so phenomenal.
I don't know about heart swelling. That's
Dude,
a.
it is. I feel great every time I
I
listen
feel
to
like
that.
I
I
feel
proud
it.
don't
every time I
feel
listen to it.
I don't feel great every time I listen to Just the Way You Are. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what, Liam?
Vienna gives me that special little feeling.
You know
Yeah.
what? Even though you hate, not you don't. Sorry, you don't hate Just the Way. Even though you don't like Just the Way You Are as much as Vienna, I like you just the way you are.
Oh,
And I
that's
like you
sweet.
just the way you, Vienna.
Nice.
Ah, good one.
Thank
Good
you.
one.
Really
Thank
Where would
you.
you
funny.
put where would you put
Top
Vienna?
number 2.
Ready for this? This is my spite vote, but Vienna
You're
is
putting
my
it last.
worst ranked song on the album. In an album filled with masterpieces, guys. We're okay. When you think of iconic in Billy Joel, do you think of Vienna? No, you think of scenes. You think
Yeah, I
of
think
Yes,
it's
yes, you
scenes,
do.
but
You do think of Vienna.
no,
I
you,
also here's the thing is that if I think of Billy Joel, I also don't think of The Stranger because my favorite album is not The Stranger. But
it's Nylon
um
Curtain, right?
not Nylon Curtain's my
That's like
favorite
probably my
album.
favorite too. But yeah,
But
love Nylon Curtain.
nevertheless, when I think of masterpiece, Vienna is up there. It is a pop
Oh yeah.
masterpiece.
All right,
It's
we'll
it's
agree to
awesome.
disagree.
Fair enough. It's
Fair
number
enough.
3 on my list.
I respect it.
Number
I
2 on
respect
mine.
it. I'm telling you, like I respect it. It's just a personal grudge. I don't know what it
Here's
is.
the
I
thing is
wish I
that
could tell you. I wish I could give you a more concrete argument of why I don't like it, but there's something about it that just doesn't work for me. I don't know.
all
But
right. I mean, when we get to my least favorite, you'll probably yell at me too. So,
okay.
anyways, let's go on to
Only the Good Die
Only
Young.
the Good Die Young.
I like Only the Good Die Young. I have a lot of good
You
memories
wait.
linked with Only the Good Die Young. Senior year of high school. It was the one year I did marching band. Wish I had started earlier, but that's a whole separate conversation. We did a Billy Joel set, and included in that set was We Didn't Start the Fire, My Life, Miami 2017, Just the Way You Are, and Only the Good Die Young. So when I listen to this song, I can just kind of still see myself kind of on the edge of the field with my mellophone up, just kind of going side to side.
Doing
Da,
the finger
da, da,
like
da,
while I was
da,
listening to
da,
it.
da, da, da,
Fun song.
da, 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 da. It was really fun. But that's kind of overall how I feel the song. It's really, really fun.
It
The
is a fun
energy is
song.
great. It's up there. It's
The energy is
great.
fantastic on the song. I mean, for me, like the song is lower ranked because it doesn't like, I don't know, it doesn't emotionally strike a chord like the other songs do in the album. However, I will say though,
You gotta have
really,
fun though.
it's so much fun, and like the vocals great, and it's just a great energy, and it's a great melody, and just the way like he builds up to that chorus, you get so excited for it. Like it's just such a great
Yeah.
build up, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean just the intro drum fills. It's phenomenal.
I do love the drums on that. Yeah.
The
Also,
horns sound great.
it's a little shuffle, but it's also kind of like a syncopated shuffle feel, which is also really really cool. Um, Something else I wanted to say is, I mean, whenever he does this live, I mean, the energy is it's just there every single
It
time.
is. I know this song does
And-
not disappoint. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing is like, is although it's not although it's not as beautiful or not as epic as maybe something like Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, it is still a great rock song. And like we were saying earlier, like he rocks on this song. He plays
Yeah.
phenomenally, and so does the rest of the band for that matter. But I will say I don't know, it's just I mean just it talks about the Catholic girls and
Catholic girls.
and how they start much too late. You can fill in the blanks.
Thank you, Billy. Very cool.
I think there was a girl he knew named Virginia though. I think I remember him saying that like in an interview, like
Yes.
there was a girl named Virginia, and she did start much too late. That's the thing is that his lyrics were very his lyrics were very like literal. There was no like deep meaning, like especially in a song like Piano Man.
Yeah,
Like
very literal, incredibly.
there was a girl and she was practicing politics and waitress, and so
Another funny story about this song is actually what's interesting is this song, another example of just a song that started off in a slightly different feel. But this time, this song was actually apparently slightly slower and, believe it or not, had more of a reggae feel to it originally.
Really?
I was reading about this on his Wikipedia
That would
page
be
today.
awesome.
But
I wish
like,
they would release some of these demos because that'd be like kind of phenomenal.
apparently he was like singing in like a Jamaican accent on some of the songs, which of course would not fly today.
No.
But anyway, point is funny
I'm thinking
story.
about only to get that young and reggae though.
This
That'd
will
be
really
awesome.
be this is really funny for the Long Island people. But what happened was Liberty again yelled at Billy and was like, dude, like, why are you singing with a Jamaican accent? The closest you've ever been to Jamaica was on the Long Island Railroad, and if you're from Long Island, you'll understand exactly where Jamaica, New York is.
Yes,
but
that's true.
funny.
The next stop is Jamaica. The next stop is Jamaica. This is the train to Penn Station. I think it passes through Jamaica. I'm pretty sure.
It does, yeah, man.
Have to be from Long Island to know that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Liam.
Liam wouldn't understand that because he doesn't know geography.
Okay, it's okay. Some of the people I know from Long Island don't know geography, so it's all good. Anyways, so I mean, this. I wish there was more to say about the song, but it is. There's really not too much to say about it, is there? Unless you guys have something else to say, and I'm just totally wrong.
I got something to say. It's number
What
7.
are you gonna say?
It's number 7. That's the thing I have to say.
Number 6 for me.
It's number 7 for me.
Okay.
I guess I'm just
pretty...
better than you, Liam. I guess great minds think alike.
Wow.
Yep.
You know what?
I don't make the rules. I just follow them.
It's fine. She's always a woman. And this is a great song.
Love this song so much.
This song is very controversial because just recently it has been deemed misogynistic.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually didn't hear about that.
In the last I guess it's recent in terms of history, but in the last 3 years, it's been deemed misogynistic, or maybe even before that. But all I know is I've read it in the last 3 years that it was considered misogynistic.
I haven't heard about that. Interesting.
I also haven't heard about that.
I really can't seem to figure out why. Because the song is talking about the man's woman. He's singing from the man's perspective because, well, he's a man. So he when he sings about this girl, it's like, yeah, she does this and this and this, she does this and this and this, right? We all have complaints at some point, but she's still someone that I love. She's still a woman.
Yeah.
She's still someone.
I think the writing on this song is great. Common theme. I'm so sorry for cutting you off, Liam. I thought you were done.
Please, you're fine. You're fine. I'm
so sorry.
Done. You're okay.
Man, now I feel like crap now. Yeah, I was just gonna say I like the writing. I like the 12/8 feel. I like the harmonies and the humming. That's it. I'm sorry. Continue.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's something that was really great about this song, but also just the way he sings it. And there's something that
just the way he are,
and just the way he sings it. But on the part where it's like that, she takes care of herself. Yes. There's a counter harmony counter melody going on with an instrument that I still can't figure out. But
oh crap! It's like
a flute.
Something like that.
Or it's a clarinet. It's a clarinet, I think.
Soprano sax?
Soprano sax.
Honestly, I haven't ever listened close enough for that part because I'm so caught up in the lyrics in that part and just kind of.
I know.
It's interesting. This is totally lyric writing 101, like his rhyme schemes and everything. It's just incredible. But what's amazing about this song is there's a tenderness about it, but he picks you up and then there's a resolve. Just the way the chords he chooses to resolve on, and then when he's moving the phrase, it's constantly building. Billy Joel is musically so intelligent because he can be so accessible and write such a catchy thing, but he is a craftsman musically, and that's why his last album was piano music it was classical music his last thing, because he has that ability. And he's incredibly impressive with it. And what's interesting about this song actually is also what I was looking up is that I just learned this today actually, is when he was writing this, he was kind of trying to write a song in the perspective of like a song that Gordon Lightfoot would sing. And if you know Gordon Lightfoot, you might have the same epiphany that I did, where I was like, wow, you could totally hear Gordon Lightfoot singing this, because just like that kind of storytelling, like waltz feel, and the whole rhythmic phrasing is so Gordon Lightfoot. It's just so, and yeah, it's just really unique. And there's not a lot of songs like that of his catalog, of Joel's catalog, but no.
Oh, the song is also incredibly classical. I mean, even just it's a bum 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 bum. It's a I don't know what the
sequence.
That's a sequence.
Yes.
But I mean,
I learned something in theory 3. Didn't learn much, but I learned
in
something.
history too. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a very classical pop song, and he especially takes a lot from classical music, as he is a listener of classical music, and it's one of his main influences. So.
Yeah, let's let's just talk about also just the guitar and the piano combination right there. Just perfect. Like, it's just so awesome. I love that on that song.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. But I mean, yeah,
this song is great.
Beautiful pop song. Where would you put it?
Where would I put it?
It's really high.
Where would I put it?
Where would you put it, Hayden?
So okay. This is a really hard thing to do, because I think this song is great.
Yeah.
This is really, really hard for me.
You put it like number 7 or something.
It's number 9. It's number 9.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm sorry.
gosh.
I really like the song, but I also really, really like the other songs.
That's okay. That's okay. Cole?
I have this at 5, but like I feel like this and Just the Way You are kind of tied for me. Like it depends on what mood I'm in,
Yeah, this is number 4 for me. I like this song better than I like Just the Way You Are.
That's fair. That's fair.
And like, honestly, thinking about it more, I also like it more than Just the Way You Are. But like, then I have to change around all my rankings. I don't know. My rankings are like Monopoly money. It's not real.
Wow.
Don't go by me.
He just demolished his credibility.
Cole and I spent meticulous hours crafting our
rankings.
I really have.
Hey, I spent a very, very meticulous 42 minutes and 33 seconds crafting this ranking.
Oh, that's the link to the album. Very funny.
You explained the joke. Very funny.
How clever. Okay, well, the next song, which is a song that I often forget about, is on this album.
But
I really like this song.
I love this song.
But underrated song.
The problem about this album is that the entire back half, for me especially, gets way overshadowed by the front half. So
I agree, but the front half is a lot better, so that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, it's
like about Vienna. Vienna's in the back half.
It might as well be on the front half.
Might as well be on the back half, because Vienna's the worst song in the album.
You're the worst. Anyways, Get It Right the First Time.
I love this song.
I really like it. I love, the drum groove, and then the guitar comes in, and then the flute comes in. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, right.
I'm sold. It's an absolute like rock powerhouse.
The tropical flavor of the song, the tropical flavor of the song really makes me think that this is just like a more rocking like precursor to Rosalinda's Eyes, which is to come on 52nd Street. I mean, but like I love the tropical flavor of this. Now I remember listening to this as a kid and being like, why wasn't this a hit? But like I kind of understand, I guess, why it wasn't a hit compared to the other songs. But I mean, there's something really cool. I mean, the melody is really unusual with the guitar riff, and it's kind of like there's something kind of jaunty about it. But then when the chords come in more fully right before the chorus, and that walk down is just epic. Like like it's another classic example of like the build and then the build and then the like it kind of comes back into the groove. And just that riff in between the choruses, the la 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 part is also just it's just a really warm and fun song. But it also just like the color of it is it's just really, there's something kind of beautiful about it. I mean, like Billy Joel's a great example of like you can groove hard, you can rock hard, but you can also be beautiful while doing it. And
I know
that kind of stuff.
Something else this whole album I don't think he does it on Turnstiles, but this is the album that has that iconic Billy Joel whoa on almost every song.
Oh my God, on all of the songs. There's like a whole
Yeah.
compilation on YouTube, I think, of just him going, whoa, it's so crazy.
Whoa. And it's on this song too, and I think it actually works the best here than on any other song on this album. Personally. It just the way, I don't know, it kind of feels a little overused throughout the entire album, but right here it just feels like this was the one that was meant to happen. I wish I knew more about this song. I don't. But it talks about it, just like getting it right the first time and definitely not the next time, because the first time's the only time you get it right. So
Yeah, first impression, you got to make it good.
exactly.
Vienna made a really bad first impression for me, and that's it. It's over. I'm kidding. That was a horrible joke.
maybe you didn't get it right the first time.
Oh,
but Billy Joel definitely did.
He got it right.
We're gonna get into a fist fight after that. No, I'm kidding. No.
Yeah, meet me in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So remember I was saying earlier about my hot take and how it was coming up and
really?
how number 3 will shock you.
Really?
Hey guys, ask me what my number 3 is.
Hey Hayden, what's your number 3, man? Hey, what is it?
Oh, well, I'm happy that you asked. This is my number 3.
This is your number 3.
I really like this song, yeah.
But
of course, as we just recently realized, my credibility is out the window. So
right, of course.
The thing is that this song, that's actually quite surprising to hear, because this song, I would never expect anyone to give it a number 3, but I'm glad you did, because
I like it a lot.
Dude, I'm happy
this
about
song. It's also it's up my alley though. I like more kind of rockin' stuff like this.
Yeah, this is my number 7.
This was my number 6, not too far off.
There you go.
I wish this was further up in the list, but there's too many great songs to contend with. It's hard.
That's the thing. The thing about this album is that this is actually although it's one of my favorite Billy Joel albums, I usually get past Only the Good Die Young. I get through the hits, right? And by the time I get to the last 3 songs, I listen to She's Always a Woman. I kind of listened to Get It Right the first time.
I still feel guilty about She's Always a Woman.
Yeah,
man. I'm gonna feel good about that. We recorded it. It's out there now. The internet never lets anything go away.
I know. 10 years from now,
I'm trying to get a job. My employer is going to see it.
Aiden, you have nothing to worry about. They're going to come after me for Vienna, so it's okay.
That's true. So it doesn't look nearly as bad.
Okay, but for people listening, by the way, there's a song called Vienna by Ultravox. I think that's a better song, and I love that song. Ultravox was actually produced by George Martin, by the way, but that's a tangent. My bad.
Classic tangent. Classic cold tangent. Love you. Anyways, let's talk about the last song on this album. And let me just get it out of the way that this is also my number 9 out of 9.
I like this song.
I like every song on this album, but something has to be number 9, and it sadly had to be this one.
Okay, so you can come at me for that same exact explanation for She's Always a Woman.
But the difference is She's Always a Woman's a better song.
I have to agree with Liam on this. I think Everybody Has a Dream is a really great song, and it's just, again, it's a song in a sea of amazing songs in this album, and the gospel thing is amazing. Also, Linda Ronstadt's on backing vocals for this, and I think Patty Austin's also on backing vocals for this. 2 amazing singers. It's
good though.
It's a great gospel thing. It's really awesome. It's not as musically sophisticated as the other songs, but it's it's a nice way. I think it's an appropriate way to close the album for sure. I think there's no other song that would have closed this album, but
it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I also, although it is the only song that he could have done to close the album, I don't think any other song on this album could have been none to close it. I don't know. It's very out of character for him. And granted, good for him for branching out. But this song just doesn't sound like a Billy Joel song. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know. First time I listened to this, I was like, really? Really? Billy Joel wrote this? It's like when you think of Billy Joel, you think of Scenes, you think of Just Rock and Roll to Me, or Still Rock and Roll to Me. You think
of Vienna.
Vienna, Piano Man. You don't think of Everybody Has a Dream.
You know what's
Everybody has it's really good though.
It's a great song.
I love the harmonies like on the chorus.
Yeah, the harmonies.
The piano playing is great, but that's no shit, Sherlock. Of course the piano is great.
Well,
I think
yeah.
it builds really, really well. And I also wasn't expecting the little reprise of The Stranger at the end.
Of the Stranger at the end. There's something else about
Classic.
this song. This is definitely one of Billy's best vocal performances on this album. The way he sings this and the amount of soul and energy that he puts into this track is just, it's sometimes overwhelming and just makes you feel, especially like, there's been a lot of times I played this album in the car and blasted it, and just the overwhelming sensation. I don't know, feels great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Especially, I think what's interesting, going back off of what Liam was talking about like how this feels different for Billy Joel thing. I think really where that comes from is because he's working within the more gospel-like medium. That means that the song has to be structurally more simple to allow him to kind of feel the soul of the narrative more. And Liam, if for the people listening, Liam's also mimicking the tuba right now. If you're not watching on YouTube, but yeah. Well, maybe if tuba was on Everybody Has a Dream, I think it would have been a smash hit. To be honest, if there was a tuba solo. But anyway, point is on that song though, what I think is interesting is it's structurally more simple to allow just kind of there to be more space, and that's really cool and everything. But on an album filled with really cleverly crafted hooks, like kind of the push and pull tension release effect, like you get on like the chorus sections of Moving Out with the nobody, with that part, and then also getting with the feeling of She's Always a Woman and how it flows so well, and how Just the Way You Are flows so well, and so interesting, and how Only the Good Die Young pumps you up, and then on an album filled with such motion, what is the chorus of Everybody Has a Dream? It's just everybody has a dream, and it's just like, it's great, it's a good hook, but it's not,
It's simple.
It's simple, which isn't bad at all, and it's a great song. And Liam's laughing at me because everyone's like, oh, Cole only likes complicated stuff, blah blah blah
I've
blah.
caught you
It's
too
not
many
true,
times.
people. It's not true, people. Because you know what, let me say about the song, it really does make you smile at the song because it's another pure, this is one of his, this album does deal with some darker stuff, but it is a pure album for him, and I think
Yeah,
this song is a hallmark of that.
absolutely.
And I have nothing but mad respect for it, and I didn't rate it as the lowest because I think the song deserves more attention than a song like Vienna.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it deserves more attention than Vienna. I mean, not to say that it doesn't deserve
Yeah,
attention.
I might retract that statement, honestly, because
you might
Vienna,
want to retract that statement.
You know why? Because Vienna, at least Vienna has like such an interesting melody in the verse. Like the it's melodically exciting.
This has an interesting melody in the verse as well. It just doesn't have a very interesting melody in the chorus, but at the same time doesn't need it. Like we said, we're talking about this.
No,
this is a very gospel-driven song, and a lot of gospel does not have very atonal sounding. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's beautiful the way
it doesn't.
It is.
It's beautiful just the way it is. Oh, back to that pun.
No. That was a terrible.
Just the way he are.
It's beautiful just the way it is.
The way he are.
The thing, as a songwriter myself, what I've noticed about songwriting is when something is good, or maybe not as good as what it could be, most of the time, for the most part, you'll notice that if you don't like it because it's simple, or if you don't like it because it's missing something, the solution is not necessarily to add something. Sometimes the song has to be the song itself, and it's just the life of its own. So
yeah,
that song isn't going to get any better by adding anything, because it really is special the way it is. But I just find that interesting about songwriting, how that really works. It's like a lot of that's the beautiful thing about art. It's like, unlike sciences or other aspects of life, is you don't add, it's not like an ingredient in a recipe where it's like, well, this must be added for it to be better, right? And that's, I think, and that's something that Billy Joel doesn't often have a problem with in his writing, because his writing is so, I would say maybe his later stuff has some grubs of, but it's so thoughtful. It's this period of his time, it's like, this is the height of his writing here, kind of, in a way. So, you don't find that problematic all the time, but it's just when you have Everybody Has a Dream stacked up against all the other songs in The Stranger, then you just start to question it,
Yep, exactly. I want to know what you guys rate this.
I rated this one. I rated this one number 8. If I had to
Yeah, number 8
readjust,
for me too.
I would probably move it down if I had to readjust and kind
Yeah.
of put She's Always a Woman above it. Because as we know, my credibility does not exist. But yeah.
It vanished.
Sorry, excuse me. The only reason why this the only reason why this is beating title track is because I do not think this sounds like a Billy Joel song. That is the only reason. But
I'm so surprised that you have The Stranger so low, by the way, but I'll forgive you.
Listen, it's just that I don't know. It doesn't connect with me as much as the other songs. I don't know what it is.
It's just
You know,
the way.
That's how I
the
feel about
cookie
Vienna. It's the connection
crumbles.
thing. Yeah.
it just be the way it.
Well, the
way
difference is Vienna's
it
objectively a better
is.
song than The
Yard.
Stranger. So
Yeah.
Alrighty
It
then.
is
All
what
right.
it is. Okay, so any last thoughts about the album before we sign off for tonight?
I like this album. This is I was actually talking to one of my friends about this the other day. I don't know Billy Joel. Like we were in the car and she's like, "Play Billy Joel," and I'm like, "No, I don't have any Billy Joel saved on my phone." So this was like kind of the first Billy Joel I really actually sat down and listened to. I really, really liked it. I liked it a lot. I think, the writing is great. Obviously, I think all the songs have pretty great chord progressions. It's a solid album. I see why people like it.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I have a personal connection with it because it's been around in my childhood. But like honestly, like in more recent years, as my writing has developed and as I've actually become friends with some diehard Billy Joel people, it's kind of reignited my interest. And now, most fans would usually acclaim that this is their favorite or 52nd Street. And I kind of go back and forth every day as far as to say what my favorite is. But honestly, sometimes I feel like objectively, The Stranger is just a more cohesive unit. And I really think it's also, I just think it's just such a well executed work. And it's kind of like, it's ironic actually. So it's kind of like Thriller in the sense that like every song is almost incredibly well known. Thriller's 9 songs, by the way. And this is also 9 songs. And that's
like a magic number.
So, lucky number 9. And this was a lucky album for him. And, it gets enough attention. It's not like it needs more attention. But, I think being attentive to the things on this album that aren't so accessible or as popular, such as like Get It Right the First Time we're talking about. And, really kind of learning about the production elements and really like, yes, it's all Billy, but it's a magical chemistry between Phil Ramone and between the band members' chemistry, and that rhythm section of Doug Stegmeyer and Liberty DeVito. I mean, that energy, you're not going to find that anywhere else. So, it's Billy, but it's also the whole team he was working with was amazing. So that's my final thoughts. Sorry, that was a lot, but
that's okay. My final thoughts are, I mean, this is just a phenomenal record. It's one of Billy's best. If you ask me, it's probably like his 3rd best album. But nevertheless, I mean, it's a phenomenal record. Every song on here could have been a hit and should have been a hit, but sorry, only more than half of the album became singles. But
yeah.
which is better than most albums out there. But I mean, just a phenomenal record. This was my introduction to Billy Joel. This was the first time I listened to, and like I said, when I did the childhood thing, and I heard for the first time, I was like, oh, he wrote this, and then like it was like song after song. Oh, he wrote this, like and so this is just a phenomenal record. It has a lot of nostalgia for me. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. So that's my view on the album.
Yeah. All right. Well, good album overall. So
yes,
yeah, Billy Joel's The Stranger. Let us know what you think of it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Were you somewhere in the middle? Is your credibility better than mine? Let us know.
To it yet? You haven't listened to it yet? Listen to it. You're clearly living on a rock.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And thanks, Hayden and Liam, for having me on. This was a blast, and I hope I could be on.
Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure. So.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram at Musicians Talk Music Podcast. We are available on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, which is a thing.
That's right. Anchor. I didn't think that was the thing. And feel free to, if you're on YouTube, please give us a little subscribe and ring the bell.
We're doing that now?
Dude, why not?
We're shelling out.
Dude, how's that selling out? We are
smash that like button. Subscribe for more quality content.
Leave a comment. ring the bell, you know, so you can get notifications. You know, if you do like
You
what
should
Dream
leave a
does.
comment though, and actually genuinely let us know what you thought of the album.
Yes, please do. That'd be great.
So we'd all
Please
love
leave
to
a
hear your
comment.
thoughts.
Shoot us messages on Instagram, and if you know us personally, shoot us a text. We like those too. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.